Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom. Okay, so I want to get into a lesson starting off in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter and the 1st verse. So Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson to the elect. So I'll go ahead and I'll get straight into it. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And how is it that we measure the time diligently in itself? By watching, okay, seeing what's going on around the world, seeing what's going on in the news and filtering it through the scriptures. Okay, that's how we understand what time they're in. Okay, so that's how we measure the time diligently in itself. So I read this from the top again. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. That's right. And how is it that the highest is beginning to visit the world which he made? We understand by way of these plagues, you see that the Lord is bringing these plagues upon this place, famine, pestilence, the sword. Okay, we understand that these things will escalate, these things will intensify, heading into the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, and how else is it that the Lord is visiting this place? By way of his prophets. Okay, you see that the Lord has his prophets out here on the highways and byways preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Okay, whether you hear or forbear. Okay, so we see how the highest is visiting this place. Okay, so I read this from the top again. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, okay, we're seeing the earthquakes that's going on throughout the earth. Okay, it was a recent earthquake in the Philippines, in Puerto Rico, in Japan, in Chile. Okay, so we're seeing these earthquakes that's going on throughout the earth. Okay, and we're also seeing earthquaking events occur throughout the earth. Okay, so we understand what time that we're in. Okay, so I'll read this from the top again. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. That's right, it says in uproars of the people in the world. And when you go to the word uproar on the online etymology, it goes into outbreak of outbreak of great disorder, revolt, violent commotion. Okay, and we're seeing this going on right now, man. Okay, we're seeing more and more people protesting. We're seeing more and more people coming up against the government. Okay, you see that a lot of these people has had enough. Okay, but we understand that it's going to intensify, it's going to escalate, heading into the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so let me go ahead and get what else I had. Okay, let me go to Zechariah, the 14th chapter, and I'll start at the 1st verse. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. That's right. We understand that the day of the Lord is near. Okay, and it says, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Okay, we understand during the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, we understand that it's going to be people that's going to get assaulted. Okay, that's going to get their goods took. Okay, whatever is useful is going to be people getting their clothes, their shoes, getting their pockets empty. Whatever is useful during that time took right up off them. Okay, these are the things that's going to be going on during the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, the scripture goes into it in Matthew, the 24th chapter, about how the love of many shall wax cold. Okay, so it's going to be like every man for himself out here during the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, it's going to be a lot of your neighbors that you grew up with, that you've known 10, 15, 20 years, that's going to be looking to take your resources during that time, man, and put you to death. So I read this from the top again. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken. That's right. It says, and the city shall be taken. Okay, we understand that during the time of Jacob's trouble, we know that martial law will be declared. It's going to be troops in these cities. It's going to be checkpoints. Okay, these are the things that's going to be going on during the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so I'll read that again. And the city shall be taken, and the house is rifled. That's right, it says, and the house is rifled. Okay, so we understand there's going to be people that's going to get their doors kicked in. Okay, that's going to get their goods took out of their houses. Okay, these things are going to be going on during the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, continuing on. And the women ravished. That's right, it says, and the women ravished. Okay, so we understand that it will be women that will be raped during the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, whether you believe it or not, we understand that it's going to happen. Okay, continuing on. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity. That's right, it says, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity. So we understand that it's going to be some people that's going to be hauled off to these concentration camps. Okay, it's going to be some people that's going to be put in prisons. Okay, these are the things that's going to be going on. Okay, continuing on. And the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. That's right. So we understand that it's going to be some people that's going to be left, man. Okay, so these are the things that's going to be going on during the time of Jacob's trouble. It's going to get extremely bad out here, man. Okay, so let me go to Daniel, the 12th chapter, and I'll start the first verse. Okay, this is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up. And this is speaking about Michael, the archangel. Okay, continuing on. The great prince was standing for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Okay, and that time of trouble that it's speaking about is the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, it's going to be worse than anything that we ever been through, man. It's going to be worse than any captivity that we ever been in. It's going to be worse than slavery. Okay, that's how bad it's going to become out here during the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, continuing on. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. And who are the ones that's going to be delivered? The elect. Okay, continuing on. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's right. And we understand that the elect will be found written in the book of life. Okay, so the elect will be protected and ultimately delivered, man. Okay, we understand that the elect will be beamed up into the chariot, and they'll be able to see the great destruction that will come to America, which is Babylon the Great during World War III, the third woe. Okay, so let me go ahead and get what else I had. Let me go to Romans, the 9th chapter. Okay, and I'll start at the 27th verse. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 27. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea. And if you ever been to a beach and you look at all that sand, you see all that sand, you can't count all that sand, man. Okay, so we understand that our people are innumerable. Okay, continuing on. A remnant shall be saved. That's right. So even though we understand that our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Hebrew Israelites, are innumerable, we understand that only a remnant will be saved. Okay, the elect. Okay, we understand that the elect will be delivered. Okay, but we know that 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great. So let me get that. And I'll end it on that. Let me go to Zechariah, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse. This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land is speaking about America, which is Babylon the Great, said the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So we understand that 2 parts, 2/3 of our people will be cut off here in America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, we understand that they're going to die here. Okay, continuing on. But the third shall be left therein. That's right. It says, but the third shall be left therein. And the third is speaking about the elect that's here in America, which is Babylon the Great. Thou be delivered. Okay. And with that said, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the elect. And I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and blessings To the elect, Shalom.